Hello everyone, this is 80 from 80 Scraps and Things. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to do an invisible mattress stitch seam. So make sure you grab your project, your yarn, and your yarn needle, and let's get started. Hello and welcome back. So today I'm going to show you how to do this. I have this project I've been working on. It's for a wrist warmer. So I'm going to show you with this project how to do a nice seamless seam to connect both of these sides of the glove. And this is useful. You can use it for a lot of things like joining granny squares or joining pieces for like a sweater or pieces for blankets and things like that. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. I'm just gonna go ahead and thread my yarn needle. So just one nice easy way is by putting the yarn around the eye of the needle, putting a little bit of pressure, slide the needle off, and then pass it through the eye. I find that usually much faster than trying to thread it from the end. So now that we have our yarn and our needle ready, I'm going to be folding my work in outside in this way. Now there's different ways of joining. Obviously with this one you're going to have a nice edge on the ribbing, because of it being a crochet ribbing going back and forth, back and forth. If you'd like to learn how to make this kind of ribbing, I will go ahead and link that video over here on this corner. But we over here have a raw edge. So you'll see that this edge is not as nice and pretty to go into. And same on the other side. So you'll see that there's just no pretty place to go into outside of the ribbing side of things, so on the top and the bottom. So I'll show you how to do it on both the ribbing and the rest of the raw edge to get a nice pretty look at the end. So I'm going to start by threading through the other end where my end is not. So that would be on this end over here. So I'm going to go into the stitch, and this one I will grab the full V just to make sure it doesn't pull on just the one loop. And because I don't want it to accidentally stretch over here on this end, I will go ahead and do a second run through the same stitch. Now from here it becomes very simple. So with a mattress stitch, you will be going back and forth in between those sides. So because my yarn is now on the top side and not the bottom, I will go ahead and go to the next stitch, and I'm just going to go through one loop. Now with this one, I do want for the finish on the outside to look nice, so I'm just going to go through the back loop of one and then the back loop of the other instead of going back and front. But you can do this through both loops. You can do this through just one loop. Okay. And then I'm going to pull through. Then I'm going to go to back loop and pull through, and then onto the next stitch through the back loop, pull through, and I'm going to do that until I get to the end of the ribbing. Now you don't want to make your stitching too tight, otherwise it's going to pull and look a little bit ugly on the other side of this. But yeah, just be mindful of where you're inserting your needle and gently just pull through. Once you've finished the area that you want to stitch up, you can give it a nice gentle tug and voila. Now for the raw edge, that one's going to be a little bit trickier because again, there's no pretty side to go through. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try to choose the same sections or so. So if you notice over here, this stitch and this one look very similar. Let's see if I can get that there. So I'm going to go through one side and go to the other and pull my yarn through. Okay, so you're going to try to make this as equal as possible on both sides if you can. And you're just going to go back and forth that way, zigzagging until you get to the end of your project. Now you want to make sure that your ends are nicely aligned. You can either do it this way or you can do them flat like this. And just making sure that you keep choosing about the same spots every time to run your needle through. And again, just gently pull and then go through the other side. Choose whichever way works best for you and it's more comfortable so that you do end up with a very nice finish on the right side. Okay, so once you finish, then you'd be able to thread your yarn and just make sure you weave it in. And then turn your work around. And you'll be able to see very little, if not anything at all, on the other end as far as the seaming goes. As you can see there. Okay, so give that a go. Whenever you're tying this, make sure that, again, whenever you get to the end, you do a couple loops so that it doesn't stretch like this. So you'll notice over here, it won't really stretch out at all. So there you go. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video, subscribe to our channel. You can follow us on social media like Facebook, Instagram. So if you make any of these projects, we would love to see them. Just tag us on Instagram or Facebook so that we can see your progress. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week. Bye.